EA Sports. Big.
In the past year, I've rejuvenated my love for snowboarding. I go out every time I can during the season, and recently I even got my CASI Level 1 certification so I can eventually teach snowboarding, which is something I've wanted to do for a while now. And when I'm not boarding, I'm playing video games, and sometimes snowboarding video games. When I was a kid, I played 1080 snowboarding on the Nintendo 64, as well as Amped 1 and 2 on the original Xbox. And I want to make videos about those games eventually, but today, instead of going and reviewing a game I played as a kid, I thought I would go and review a game franchise I've never even touched before, and that's the franchise SSX. SSX, which stands for Snowboard Supercross, is a series of arcade-style snowboarding games published by EA. The game was created when former skier and accomplished businessman Steven Rechtschaffner landed a job in Vancouver at EA Canada, where after the success of his baseball series Triple Play, Steven was given the blessing to work on his own side project, which became SSX. Steven wanted to make it like a Nintendo game and worried about making it more fun rather than realistic. Before I knew this fact, I was thinking about how some of the maps kind of felt like a Mario Kart track. The very first SSX game was released in North America on October 26th in the year 2000 for the PlayStation 2, and it wasn't until January of 2025 that I played this game for the first time. When I booted this game up, I was greeted with a very Y2K opening cutscene, introducing our cast of playable characters, which I really like. The whole art style and aesthetic of this game is so appealing to me. This game has 8 playable characters that are unlocked by completing the World Tour mode, which is like the campaign, and there's another 1/2 player mode called Single Event. I picked Kaori Nishidake because I'm a weeb, and I hopped into the tutorial, and I fucking suck at this game. Use the left joystick to make turns, X to ollie, square to boost, the joystick or D-pad to make rotations, and then the triggers to make grabs. I was getting my shit rocked on the tutorial level. I felt like the rotations were hard to control, and sometimes the hitboxes of the obstacles were a little janky, but it's the tutorial. There's no way I'll get stuck on the first level for hours, right? Wrong. You can pick 2 different modes in World Tour. Race, which is just a downhill race against opponents, and Snow Off, where you gotta do tricks and collect multipliers to get the best score. I started with the race mode with the first level called Snow Dream, and I got first place twice in a row and realized, shit, I'm on Single Event. I gotta go to World Tour to actually progress. I got 5th on my first attempt. I was like, okay, I'll try again. And then I ended up getting first place, and it said that I qualified for semifinals, which just ended up pissing me off, because you have to do the same race 3 times in a row and get either first, second, or third place to progress. This takes so long even if you get first place every time, but it takes hours if you suck like me. I would get to the finals and something absolutely ridiculous would happen. Like I would get pummeled by the other riders, or I'd just fuck up a jump and get stuck in some weird spot, and it was torturous. After hours of playing, I finally got it down, and it was smooth sailing after that. I was able to progress through the rest of the race levels pretty quickly. There were some maps that were quite long and had some weird spots and clutter that you can get stuck in, as well as some camera angles on sharp turns and loops that make you go completely blind. By the time I was done with the race section, I was a lot better for the Snow Off section and was able to land a lot more tricks, which is the most fun part of this game, just ripping huge jumps and doing 900s and doing insane combos and racking up the score. I unlocked everything in the game and had quite a fun time, but also had some really bad moments with the controls and some of the PS2 jankiness. It just took a long time to get used to the controls, but overall, it was a fun snowboarding game with an amazing art style, hard controls, which make me excited for the other SSX games. Hopefully they polished up some of the controls and cleaned up some of the clutter on the maps. I guess I'll find out when I eventually make another video about the next SSX game. I actually remember as a kid getting an offer to go check out the EA Vancouver offices, which is kind of crazy, but I never got up on that. Someone with like my stepdad was like friends with someone who made the SSX game. Don't know which guy it was, but kind of cool.